It's the realist.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your guy Realistic, and welcome to my tutorial vault. Some of my most classic tutorials over the years out of the vault and re-releasing them. That way y'all can enjoy, get your mixing and mastering skills back up. So if you find any of the information useful, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way this keeps showing up in your feed, and sit back and enjoy the content. Starting off with the EQ shapes, we'll start with a Bell EQ because that's the most common EQ that we're probably going to run into, especially when we're mixing things like vocals or really just mixing most things in our track. And what the Bell EQ is going to do is it's really going to allow us to find a certain frequency area and hone in on that one. So I'll kind of show you an actual visual here. So you see I created this bell. I can find an actual frequency area that I want to boost or that I want to cut here, right? And this also works really well with our Q. And what our Q does is it will determine how wide or how narrow our band is. So let me show you a wide Q here. So this is going to cover a lot bigger range here. You can see that I'm boosting at 380, but we're going all the way down to 80 and we're going all the way up to 2061 hertz, right? And so the more narrow that we get, the more specific our area is going to get. So the more area that we can hone in that we're looking for. So now that I've got more of this narrow range here, we're boosting at 397. Well, it cuts off at 338, and then it also cuts off at 475 here, right? And so that's a much more narrow frequency area that we're dealing with here. And so when I would use this style of EQ is when there's certain frequencies that I know I want to cut, like in the mid-range or in the lower mid-range or some of those harsh areas up here. And this is also an EQ that I'll use a lot when I'm boosting, when I'm trying to boost certain areas in the mid-range here. And so I'll show you kind of what this is doing.
Even when I'm dead and gone, you'll be wanting me all night long. Even when I'm dead and gone, you'll be wanting.
And then let's do a wider Q here.
Even when I'm dead and gone, you'll be wanting me.
And then let's do a narrow Q again.
Even when I'm dead and gone, you'll be wanting me all night long.
And then let's go with a much brighter sound here up here so we can kind of hear that difference as well.
Even when I'm dead and gone, you'll be wanting me all night long. Even when I'm...
So it just all depends on how specific you're trying to get when it comes to finding the size of your cue. And a lot of times what I'm going for is usually when I'm cutting, I'm going for a narrow cue, and when I'm boosting, I'm going for a wider cue. But that's also not always the case. It's just kind of a general rule and general guideline to go along with, because there are cases like in this little boxier mid-range here, I'll probably do a wider cue even though I'm cutting, right? But there might be a little resonating frequency down here where I'll do a much narrower cue, right? And then up here, I may do a wider little area here that I want to boost. But then, if I'm boosting up here, maybe my ears are telling me to do a narrower cue. So it all just depends on what you're going for, and kind of pay more attention to, what area are you trying to affect when you're deciding between a narrow or a wide cue. And also too, when you're really trying to cut or boost certain frequencies, the Bell EQ is the way to go. Once we start getting into shelves and filters, you'll kind of see why you'll want to use a bell for more specific areas. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. If you found it useful, be sure to like and subscribe because it does help the channel grow. When you like a video, it tells YouTube that you liked it, and maybe other people will like it as well. And also be sure to check out my online mixing and mastering courses, the art of beat mixing, the art of vocal mixing, and the art of mastering, all available now. And if this video was helpful and you're looking for other videos, you can watch a video here, here, and here. All right, until next time, y'all.